A lot of hype around this team too. I'm not buying it.
I am.
You're watching Knowledge, your source for everything NFL and college football.
Welcome back. We're heading to the SEC Old East now for our second part of SEC Part 2 predictions. And we're going to start off, just get right into things here with our win total predictions with the Georgia Bulldogs, last year's SEC champions, ended up losing the Sugar Bowl to Notre Dame. Still a great season, but definitely less than we've come to expect from Georgia in recent years. So we're going to see coming up now, are they going to reach that same level and get back to that unanimous kind of invincibility that we got used to seeing from Georgia, or will they be mortal again and kind of, not mid, but just definitely not the kind of force to be reckoned with they used to be. So over under 9.5. So people are kind of not quite sure yet. They don't think Georgia may be nearly as elite. Now I'm still going to go the over on this because it is in fact Georgia still. Even in that kind of worst disastrous season last year, they still won 10 games and went over on this. So yeah, give me the over here. Now the question obviously is Gunnar Stockton if he's going to be decent at all. He hasn't really looked decent at all so far. But he's had a whole offseason of prep to come back into form. Is he enough to make them elite? We will see. Georgia picked up two great wide receivers. I can't remember the names off the top
Zach
of my head.
Rennis, Noah Thomas.
There you go. You got it in the transfer portal. So with a schedule that includes the same as last year, Tennessee, Bama, Florida, Texas, it's going to be a little tough. It's going to be tough competitions. But you get the rivalry, Georgia Tech this year, and don't you? Or neutral site, right?
Yeah. This is easy pickings. I mean, I go over two.
Yeah, still. And you got over two, right?
Yeah. I have the under on like 4 out of 5 of the top SEC teams. So at least one of those teams has to be winning.
Yeah.
I think that team's going to be Georgia. And that comes down to me being more confident in Gunnar Stockton than some of these other quarterbacks, what I've seen out of him so far. And just, the belief that Georgia will find a way to win.
Yeah.
This is a team. Didn't they have like an 11.5 total one of these years? Or
yeah, they did 11.5.
Yeah, so you look at 9.5. Like at worst case scenario here, like they go like 10-2 and hit the over. And I totally see him hitting this one easily. I think, like y'all said, there's a couple big transfer portal additions. I think Noah Thomas is kind of a lateral move for him, but it can't hurt the team. It's really going to come down to that QB play, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I've got Georgia. I probably would have them going about maybe 10-2 again. I could totally see. I mean, they do benefit from the schedules getting easier and the fact that both Tennessee and Ole Miss are probably going to get a lot worse this season.
I think they're basically a
one Bama at home,
Bama at home, of course. Texas at home. Yeah. So they're going to benefit. And I do think they probably pick up one of the Bama or Texas games. I don't know which one.
Yes, like 10-2 is the worst, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. I think they win both, honestly.
Now, Florida,
if I had to pick two losses,
we'll see. I mean, close last year.
I could see Florida being close. But... And Georgia Tech isn't going to hurt them in SEC play, so that game wouldn't even matter all that much to them.
Again, SEC title, pretty easy. I mean, you know what to expect from Georgia this year. Again, just assuming they'll be in the SEC title, they'll be a factor in the SEC. That's fairly obvious at this point, right? Now let's go on to the other big dog now this year. A lot of hype in the SEC. Texas Longhorns. Steve Sarkisian coming back here off of a tough playoff loss to Ohio State, but then they get to face them right again and prove what they're going to be like this season. We're all hyped week one. At Texas at Ohio State. This doesn't have play implications on the SEC and really actually won't hurt them too much if they lose, but it's going to be a great game to see. And right now, Texas on paper, probably the best team in the SEC. Now, will they accomplish that? We'll see. They do benefit again from that easy, light schedule they had last year. Only really you got to face Ohio State, at Florida, at Georgia, and then, of course, the rivalry game, A&M, that you get at home. 9.5 again. I got the over here. I mean, it's just too easy. The entire team is just absolutely loaded. I mean, front to back with talent. Arch Manning, of course, that's the big question. Will he live up to the hype? What's our thoughts on Arch?
I mean, bro, I think it'll be mid, but he doesn't need to be that good. I mean, 9.5 is way too low. It's easy over. I thought it'd be 10.5. I mean, this team is still stacked, and I see worst case is probably 11-1 because I think they easily beat Ohio State, and then even if they drop the Georgia or Florida game, there's no way they drop two of them, so it's an over. Arch doesn't have to do that.
Look, man, I don't think he's going to be bad, but you look at it simply, and people are having, being Heisman candidate so much better than Quinn Ewers. If he was better than Quinn Ewers, he would have played over him last year. So, like, really, at best this year, Arch Manning, I think, is going to be worse than Quinn Ewers last year. And I just don't see it being any better than last year with worse QB play possibly. And obviously, they lose a lot more on their offense than people are picking up. They lose some O-line pieces and obviously wide receivers. Now, they do have the talent to fill that in, but it's just like, it pains me to take it under here because of how easy the schedule is, but I'm really not confident in Texas.
Under is crazy.
I'd probably have them right at 9-3. The three. Florida, Ohio State, Georgia.
I think they lose all the tosses.
Worst case scenario,
possibly
they lose one of
A&M.
those
So it's
games.
like they're going to be a good team, but I think people are really leaning into the
Defense
Texas
loaded.
hype too much.
Yeah, I think Arch Manning will be good, maybe even great quarterback. I don't know if he'll be the absolute elite, like Heisman.
He didn't show anything. All he did was run the ball.
But I think he'll be a very, very good, competent quarterback. I mean, we'll see that gets to start out at Ohio State.
Yeah, that's
that's
going
at
they
worst 11-1.
That's the worst case I see.
Worst case scenario.
Maybe worst case
they don't scream to me as like a national title team this year. I just don't feel it from them. I'll be honest, personally. I don't feel like this is like the national title team that come back like in a year after they're like dominated.
No, that would be
game. But I just don't feel it from them this year. But I still think they'll obviously be a factor. Playoff semifinal, that type of thing. Probably make it about the same level as they did last year. But maybe they do finally get the SEC championship win this year. We'll see. Now let's move on to another team that's got a lot of hype. The Florida Gators. Billy Napier really kind of saving his job last year and pulling out somehow 8 wins out of that nightmare of a schedule. Florida this year, 7.5 win total. That schedule stays just as tough, but the team that's got to get through it is presumably going to get way, way better. So that'll make it really interesting this year. Florida's got a ton of hype, really, more than they've had.
It's been a hot minute,
Yeah, probably in like 5 years.
It's been a hot minute.
This
is Big Trask.
Yeah, it's all about DJ Lagway, right? Can he stay healthy?
Yes.
If he stays healthy, I think this could be a playoff team. I really do.
Yeah, that was one of my hot takes. Playoff at 9-3.
Yeah.
I see this as an easy over. I mean, obviously I'm going to be biased, but I think that it's a really tough schedule. But like games like Ole Miss, it's a win. Miami, I think they flip that. That's a win. Yeah. Texas A&M, they could sneak that win out. So 9-3, I think, is realistic.
Yeah, the 9-3. I think if you get 9-3, and depending on the 9-3 teams, like if you pick up, say, that Georgia game as a win, then I think they're in for sure at 9-3. Or Texas too.
Yeah.
I think for sure. Because they were trying to get Bama in as hard as they could last year, and they had that like nightmare loss.
Yeah, bro.
So I think if they just get to 9-3 with a decent like one big win or so, and Lagway's healthy, then they're a playoff team, and I do think they can be a factor in the SEC this year too. What do you got, James?
Look, I gotta take the over here, unfortunately.
Let's go.
Y'all. Mm-hmm. I had the over on them last year. I was confident with the schedule, and they didn't disappoint me. I got to stick with it. I do like Lagway compared to some other SEC quarterbacks that are getting overhyped. I think he does actually have it. No, not even but
Texas
and Nussmeier. But it's just like I think with the schedule, I actually see them doing kind of similar to some things they did last year, where they're probably. I think they beat some of the best teams on the schedule and then drop a few games they really shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. But I really do think that defense can improve, and then they probably won't lose as much early season like they did last year. I'm borderline on the playoffs. I don't know how confident I am in that, but 8 wins,
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule here, and again, assuming Lagway is 100% healthy, which he's had struggles with.
He'll walk in.
If Lagway is healthy the whole season, I don't think there's a game like that they can't win on the schedule. I really don't. Now they don't win. They won't win all, of course. But I don't think there's a game that they won't be a factor in at all.
Who do they get in the swamp this year? That's
Texas.
Texas in there.
Texas in the
because
swamp.
They played all their hard games at home last year.
So so you got at LSU, at Miami. It's going to be tough. You get Tennessee at home too, which is pretty decent.
Tennessee's bad though.
Didn't they get killed by Texas last year? Was that one of the ones that was pretty bad?
It's either DJ was out though. DJ was out.
Yeah. All right. So hey, we'll see. Obviously, again, all depends on his health. But really, I think there's a lot to build upon here and a lot of hype. Now let's move on to Tennessee. The old Rocky Top. Really 8.5 this year after the coming off a great season, playoff season last year. One of 3 SEC teams make it 10-3. With the departure of Nico, no one is really predicting him to be as good this year. Over under of 8.5, and as much as I like Tennessee, this is really it's got to be an under here.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
8.5 way too high.
it's too easy. 8.5 is way too high. I don't know. This might have been before the Nico departure even, because it is just everyone was behind that. That was a great decision. I think I stand fully behind Josh Huppel for kicking him out, being like, we don't want that type of culture in our program, just demanding more money all the time, not caring about the team.
Well, they go QB,
but still, but yeah, now the QB position is weak. But really, Tennessee's offense wasn't its strong suit last year, anyways. Their offense was kind of garbage for a lot of the games.
Yeah, but it's gonna rob more this year. I mean, Dylan Sampson, running back, he was all I see. He really carried them last year. They also lose some on defense.
So
really, I think it's get a lot worse.
Yeah, it screams kind of a rebuild year to me personally. Yeah. I've got him going right under at about 8-4. I think sounds about right for this team. Maybe even close to the 7-5 and 9-3 range. He improved upon the rough offense, but like you were saying, with running back there, replaced almost everyone.
Yeah.
Will Joey Aguilar be decent enough?
No.
I think it's too late, kind of to come in. That could really mess some stuff up. You haven't been practicing with the team all off season, and again, just the talent issue too. Defense again should be great. You got the D line with Joshua Josephs, Bryson Neeson, and Jackson Moy. That's going to be lights out good. I really think the defense will be fine. Again, with strong positions at corners too. But I just think you're going to get a little worse in offense to be able to compete, and I just don't think that'll allow you to compete with the very top tier of the SEC. So you're looking at your schedule. You got Georgia, Bama, Florida. I can see maybe as losses, but then I think I think it can take care of business with a lot of the other teams. Maybe one more.
Don't sleep on losing to Syracuse.
Well, then I'll say
don't sleep on Syracuse, bro.
One more slip up like Oklahoma or something like that.
We sleeping on Syracuse.
Going about 8-4 sounds about right to me. What do you got, James?
I've actually got kind of a head scratching over here. I'm gonna take the over.
Come on, bro.
Even though the win total is higher than it should be. I guess that's based on the principle that I don't think the drop off from Nico to Joey Aguilar is gonna be that big. I mean, Nico really, kind of lost them some games in some big moments last year. Yeah. Like Arkansas.
No, he wasn't like Ohio that State, good. It was just
people want to hype him, bro. Just
it was so
scandals.
No, it was also
still a lot better.
No, it was also kind of confusing. He was demanding so much. He was like, "Bro, I played so well last year. You
he's still looking at the playoffs.
Like, it'll probably worse, but I don't think it's gonna be that big a gap. Unlike Charlotte, I'm not worried about the defense at all. I think it'll fill in just fine. I am worried about the backfield departures, but I think they'll be all right. I'd probably have them right at 9-3. Losses to Georgia, Florida, and
Bama,
yeah, probably
Syracuse.
Bama.
Yeah. I'll take Tennessee doesn't make the playoffs for another 15 years.
It's like impossible to even predict, man.
I just think maybe they lose to Syracuse, beat Bama. Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just I'll take it over here, but
I
think at the end of the day they made the playoffs this year. They're still gonna be a good team. I think people are kind of sleeping on them a little bit.
Yeah, I think their defense, like I said, just the defense minimum can carry them to like 7 or 8 wins. And that's kind of my viewpoint. What if their offense just suddenly is like explosive and actually really good? Then all of a sudden we got something there, maybe. Yeah. But anyways, let's keep going to another team that just barely missed out on the playoffs last year. South Carolina Gamecocks. 9-4. Shane Beamer coming back here to coach this team with, of course, Lenore Sellers coming back. A lot of hype around this team, too. I'm not buying it.
I am.
I'm not buying it. What do you got here, Charlie? Tell me
about it. One could argue this is an over. I think 8-4, 9-3. I'm actually pretty high on them. I said, obviously, in the Bama one, I said they beat Bama, so that's going to be a big swing game. I like the schedule. I like Lenore's coming back. I like defense returning. People like Dylan Stewart, and I like the over.
Yeah.
Over here as well, man. Yeah. I thought this one was lower than I thought it'd be.
Schedule's a little tough.
I think it's most of the points of the schedule, even a tougher non-con with Virginia Tech. But I have the over here mostly because I do believe in Lenore Sellers, and they are a team that really was like a couple plays away from making the playoffs. I mean, you look at that LSU game that they should have won. There was a little riggage in that, but then also the Bama game, they should have won that. And it's just like this is a team that I think can win these tough games against teams like LSU and Bama.
Imagine they beat Clemson.
And so I think at the very least, they can go 8-4.
Yeah, we got 7.5 here, and honestly, I'm looking at it, and it's just. I mean, they do lose a lot defensively and have some kind of unknowns at receiver, running back, but they got Sellers, of course.
He's gonna sell.
It is too easy with 7.5. I gotta go the over. That's just barely over. Give me 8-4 for South Carolina. Okay, I do have them worse because not so much as South Carolina, but I think some of the teams they play get better. I do think they lose at A&M this year. I think that's a tough place to play, and I do think
slip up game last year.
and I do think they lose at LSU, just in the Death Valley there, and I think they lose Clemson this year. I think if Clemson is the elite team that we think they'll be, I think they will. I think they will beat them in this game. So, 7.5 is too easy. I can't really go the under because that would mean they lose every single toss up.
7-5. Come on.
That mean they lose every single toss up and then like something extra too, basically. But give me just getting over there at 8-4. All right. So let's keep going with another team that's 7.5 with Mizzou. Mizzou Tigers.
Who said it's 7.5? Come on now.
Well, have you seen that schedule again? The same
It doesn't
as last
matter,
year.
bro.
It's a joke.
They're so bad last year.
They were so bad and they won 10 games.
They were the worst 10-1 team of all time. You
Iowa,
saw them
23.
Okay, if you saw them against A&M and Bama, the only like ranked teams they played,
Oh yeah, they were garbage.
they lost by like 40.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
good.
they kept it pretty tight with
But-
South Carolina, though.
The teams they play are worse. Is the key.
One could argue.
With 7.5, it's just too easy. I have to go the over here. I mean, you're looking at the only teams they play that could even be like potential losses. We got South Carolina, okay, Texas A&M, Alabama,
Kansas.
and
One could argue.
Oklahoma or
One could
Auburn.
argue Kansas.
Like, and I can't think of a fifth like loss on the schedule really to get them
Kansas.
under 7.5. It's just too. It's a joke, really. It's an absolute joke the schedule. So that's what's really determining, and not how good this team is. I don't think they'll be particularly good, but I think they'll manage to get to like 8 wins.
I think
on
they
this
managed to get
schedule.
6.
Yeah. What do you got on this team, James?
Yeah, this is tough because it's a really low total for teams that won 10 wins in back-to-back seasons, But with their departures, I really don't see them getting it over here. I have the under, probably 7-5, and it's tough to find 5 losses here, but they are another team that had some tough, maybe one-score games that don't go their way this year, like say even like Vandy,
Mm-hmm.
So I think they could lose some of those. Big game is going to be Kansas week 2. If they lose that, they're definitely going to hit the under, in my opinion. But there's still, I think, a lot of the SEC teams that they were able to beat handily last year might give them a lot more trouble. So like Oklahoma, Auburn, even Arkansas. I don't know.
True. I do think I'll put it this way. I think if they're a lot worse, I think like kind of the bottom falls out. They do fall to kind of a 6-6 range.
Yeah.
But I think if they're at least like decent enough like last year, they get to 8 or 9.
I see this as under. So big fan look at it is how many like one-score games you win. They won so many one-score games. Boston College, Vandy, Auburn, Oklahoma. Those are all like such. And I just think that's going to flip their way. They were the luckiest 10-13 team last year. 7-5, 6-6.
Like you said, when they played actually good teams too,
they did kind of get destroyed.
And that's
that
Brady.
A&M game.
That's with Brady Cook.
A&M and Bama, they lost like 40-0 to Bama.
That's with Brady Cook and all them. Which
Yeah,
are
both
not going to
programs
be
not
here
gonna
this
be as
year
good.
also. So.
All right. Well, speaking of Vandy, as we did, the Vanderbilt Commodores coming off their first bowl season in a long time. Clark Lee coming back here and has really, I think, built something pretty nice here. Diego, and the key difference is old man Pavia coming back.
Pierre coming in.
So he's going to be the difference there, along with, of course, tight end Eli Stowers. That is going to make the difference, and that's giving me confidence in this team this year. 4.5, give me the over.
Yes.
Give me the over on Vandy. Yeah, I think they at least get back to a bowl game for sure. I don't know if they get better than that. Maybe, I think the minimum I think of this team is they get back to the bowl game, and then we'll see how much more they can get on top of that. Can they even get up to that 7-win range and have a really, really solid season? What do you think? No.
I mean, okay,
No.
so I'm
No
not,
faith.
I'm not very high on them, but I still think 4.5 is a little low. I'm gonna take over. I like 5 and 7. The offense is very experienced, as you mentioned. People coming back. I mean, Pavia, he's been there a while, and I think the non-conference is pretty easy. I mean, Virginia Tech.
Do we think they beat Georgia State this year?
They flip the Georgia State game. I can see them beating Virginia Tech again. So 5 and 7. Don't get too high.
James?
I would have them making a bowl again this year. They won 7 games last year, and they really looked good even in that last game against Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Pavia, he's got a big ego, but I do think he is going to
He
push.
talks, bro.
He's going to push this team to
If they
really
keep building
push through
upon
those
what they
wins.
got the last year, yeah.
And I think that culture is turning around finally. So they're at the very least going to pick up some SEC games like last year. I mean, I think 4.5 is low for them. So I'd probably have them at 6-6 again.
Yeah.
But even 5 wins, still an over. So
That's true. All right, well, let's finish down with the teams with
we
Kentucky
serious?
Wildcats. Mark Stoops. Things have kind of turned around for this team here, for the worse.
Ever since he got hired by A&M, it's all gone down.
It really has. Yeah, I bet you're glad about that now, right?
yeah,
It seemed, and not even Mark Stoops. I don't think it reflects much to him. It just seems like Kentucky as a whole is kind of not really adapted to the new NIL era of football, and I think they're going to be left behind.
Ever since the Will Levis dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Kentucky over under 4.5. So people really don't have much confidence. Give me they get one more game.
No way, bro.
Give me they get one more game and get 5-7.
Take
Give
it
me
over.
that. I'll take the
Taking
5
over
and
in
7.
Kentucky is
They
crazy.
need to regain that like really kind of physicality culture to compete with anyone. They just need to really go out and try to just out physical teams like they kind of used to some of the times. But there's going to be a lot of pressure on Mark Stoops this year for sure. If he doesn't get it done, if they have another 4-8, or even I'll just say if they have another non-bowl year, he is the winningest coach. He's legend there, but people are really going to want to see some change.
Yeah, sort of like Kirk Ferentz. Like they won't fire him; they'll force him out.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Might tell him to retire.
Ferentz hasn't gone 4-8 in a long
Not
time.
yet.
Man, all right. What do you got, James, on Kentucky?
it's an easy honor for me. I think they're going to be the worst team in the SEC.
Mississippi State, bro.
No, I think they're going to be worse.
And
I think they're gonna be
dude.
worse.
Thinking
Calzada,
like two
look,
wins?
I mean,
Yeah.
Calzada's easily the worst starting quarterback.
Yeah, how is he still in the league?
I mean, he beat
I was
Bama
so
like
surprised that he's still in
maybe
the league.
4 years ago, but like this is crazy.
Yeah.
He's
He
not.
went
He's
down
not
to
going to
FCS. I don't know how he got back up.
I have zero confidence in this team. I see them probably dropping a game in their non-con. Also, I would not be surprised if they lose to Toledo or like Eastern Michigan.
Well, Louisville, of course.
Well, obviously,
Well, in games like
but
Ole Miss they
that's
won last year, that's for sure.
that's not going to happen again. I don't think. So this
Freaking
team
Ole Miss.
is dead in the water,
that's
man.
crazy.
Yeah. Almost
Yeah,
really
this
that
is
should be
not-
Georgia, too.
I got an under too.
Under? Tell me about.
I mean, him Zach Calzada. I can't believe he's still playing college football. He played like a couple years at Incarnate Word. Now he's back up.
And
I
even
mean-
when he played at A&M, he was like, he was way buried on the depth
Yeah,
chart.
I mean,
He was
games
only
that
in
won
the
like
next.
Ole Miss. I mean, that's for sure gonna flip this year. So I guess 4-8. I don't think they'll be that bad, but this is an easy under.
Yeah. All right, well, let's finish it out now with our SEC title. We'll pick who we think is going to win the SEC title and over who in the championship game, okay? So I'll start out here. I think we're going to see – I'm going to go real original, guys. I'm thinking Texas.
Wow.
But give me Texas over Bama. I'll make it a little bit better.
Okay,
Because
okay.
well, really, I'll put it this way. I'll clarify. Texas over the winner of the Georgia-Bama game.
Okay.
Okay. What do you got here?
I got Texas over LSU. I'm getting a little high on LSU
All right,
here.
all
I picked them to make the SEC title last year, but this year's my year. So Texas
This
over.
is the year.
That take
Texas
is
over
really
LSU.
buying into some hype on teams.
We'll see. What you got, James?
I mean, Georgia is a shoo-in. Like, literally, no matter what they do, as long as they don't drop like a really dumb game, they're in the SEC championship because Georgia Tech isn't going to hurt them, and I think they're in for sure. My second team, we're gonna have to go with the Texas A&M Aggies.
Bro, we serious?
Crazy take, but then you think about it, and they were literally one game away last year. They should have been in.
They're one game away.
So it's really
Just don't
not
lose
that
to
crazy.
Auburn.
Yeah, they literally it's very possible. So I'd have them, and that's mostly just because I'm not high on Texas or LSU or Bama more than I am high on A&M. But
Bro, if Texas
I'll
didn't
take
make
it.
the SEC title this year,
That would be
that'd be
horrible. That would
so
be
insane.
maybe
Exactly.
the
I mean, they
wheels
still make the
fall off.
playoffs too.
Yeah,
but-
they still sneak in there.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you soon with the Big Ten, our last conference predictions before the season starts. See you then.